going to start with the hardest question of all for you to answer, and that is, how do artists start making steps towards radio play?
Yeah.
The yes and the no, dealing with that. Okay?
Yeah. I'm going to start with a story, a text message that I got the other day from a really upset listener. And he wanted to know why Engine Radio would not play artists like theological backpack rappers. You know, and I couldn't come up with the answer on the moment to answer him, but the thing you need to know about radio is this media platform that's been around in America the longest, right? So radio was the first one here. And so radio has been tried, it's been tested, and it has years and years and years and years and years and years of failures and successes, okay? So to run a radio station and reach the most amount of people and to be successful in radio, there are formulas. There are ways to do it. One of the biggest questions each and every one of you at this table who has ever listened to the radio, I guarantee you've all asked this question either out loud or in your head. Man, why do they play the same songs over and over and over again?
Sure, all the time.
Okay?
That's every station.
It's part of the successful formula in radio. And the thing is that when a listener tunes into the radio and does anybody here listen to the radio all day long? I love that.
I have it in my room playing.
Perfect.
You got the Alexa.
Amazing. Now, when do most of us listen to the radio, right? In our 10, 15-minute drive when we're in a car?
Yeah.
When we hit the switch to listen to our radio, what do we want to hear? We want to hear our favorite song. We want to hear that song that we love. And so when we're researching songs and we're finding songs to put on our playlist, the songs that are doing the best and the songs that quote unquote have been identified as someone's favorite song, those are the songs that you're going to hear over and over and over again, and you're going to hear them more often. And that's part of the formula of radio success. Okay, now there's smarter dudes than me in this world who have, in fact, there's a guy that I use at Engine as a consultant. He's the keynote speaker at many radio conferences, and he's taken a radio station from last in the market, meaning nobody listens to that radio station, to number one in the market. He didn't do it once, he did it twice. Okay, so this guy knows what he's doing. There's formulas, there's ways to program radio. So what radio has to do, top 40 radio, pop radio, country radio, you got to take the sound and the music that is most popular to the masses. You know what I mean? How are we going to reach the most people? Okay, so if you send me a super trap song that's 5 minutes long, that has no melody, and wonder why I'm not going to play it, well, gosh, there might be 2 people that really love your song, your mom and your grandma, but the rest of my audience is going to change the station when that song comes on. And so if I don't identify that song as something that the majority of our audience is going to vibe with, then oftentimes it's very risky for me to play a song like that, Trey. And so one great programmer many years ago made this statement, and I think that it's true. I hated hearing this statement when I was a promoter because I was on this side of the table. Why aren't you playing my artist song? Aaron, why will you not play Lecrae? Why did it take me a year and a half to convince you to play Lecrae Anthony Evans? Do you know the work I put behind Lecrae before he ever got on the radio? It was blood, sweat, and tears. But Air One was like, yo, if I put a rap song on, then the audience that I've built, they're going to go away. And it took me as a promoter to convince them, no, this is a song that they're not going to go away, and here's why. And now we're starting to see the why, right? So this is what a programmer told me one time. He says, I can never be hurt by a song I don't play, right? I can never be hurt. This station cannot be hurt by a song I don't play, because if I'm already playing the songs that have been identified as hits, and I don't know if your song is a hit, I'm not risking the fact of hundreds of thousands of people turning the dial whenever that song comes on. Now there's songs that I've played on the station from artists that are in this room. I see 3 artists that have had songs on Engine Radio. And if you listen to Engine, you hear us talk a lot about, hey, join our online music team. We want to know what songs you're liking, what songs you're not liking. You know what I mean? And we have we have a demo that we're trying to reach, because the smart consultant people said that if you target this narrow group of people, right, you really hone in on one type of audience, then you'll get everybody. But if you try to get everybody, you'll get nobody. And that's true with marketing. That's marketing 101 everywhere. You know, when you watch Fox News at 9 p.m. at night, what are you going to see in commercials though? You're going to see a lot of drug commercials, right? For all the elements, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, every element you can think of, because it's old people watching. You know what I mean? So that's their target audience. Now, are they reaching more than just old people on a Friday night? Of course they are. So there's lots of factors that go into how we choose, how radio as a whole, whether you're the box or whether you're 93Q or whether you're Engine, on how we're choosing our music. So my best advice to you as an artist making music is, I'm not saying you have to be somebody you're not, but sometimes, remember when we'd buy that album and we'd listen to the radio song and they had the radio hit that made us fall in love with the artist, and then the rest of the album sounded nothing like it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying be someone you're not. I'm not saying go do something different, but you've got to okay, no, this is what radio is. This is how I'm going to get on the radio, and go make those songs. Don't make your songs and then say, why won't radio play my song?
More of an opinion question. What platforms or mediums do you see currently or in the future challenging radio as far as exposure for new music and independent artists?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't know this, but radio still is the number one platform for new music discovery. So people are still using radio, especially millennials and young people. It's still over 90% is the number one platform for that. However, as we move into the future and as we have more Alexas in the home, we have more smart speakers. In fact, I think over 1 million vehicles were shipped last month with smart speakers enabled in the vehicles. So the future is going to be AI. And so we're going to grow up in a world, we're going to live in a world where our kids and your kids, they're never going to know a world where they can't just randomly call out into the air and have an AI come to their beck and call. And so that's going to be the biggest thing, right? So if you go to, anybody knows, do you guys know what CES is?
Oh yeah.
Consumer Electronics, whatever. So CES is the biggest, it's in Vegas every year. It used to be in one convention center and then it moved to 2 convention center. Now it's not only outgrown the Las Vegas brand new convention center, but it's now in like 6 different casinos on the strip because it's so big. And every media and tech company in the world comes and they display their new media and their tech in these casinos. And if you went to the last CES, you'll notice that Google spent the majority of their money in marketing on their AI, on the Hey Google. You couldn't go anywhere on the strip. It was on license plates, it was on hats, it was on girls' t-shirts, it was on freaking street signs. Hey Google. You got into a bus, you saw Hey Google, because they know the future is in AI. They know that's the future.
How does songs get charted?
How do songs get charted? Okay. Can this be a little bit longer of a question? Sure. Okay. So I'm going to tell you, do you want to know how songs get charted basically in the Christian music world? So right now, the chart that's most significant to you in the kind of music that you make is called, and this would be, you might want to take a note of this, put this in your phones. It's called thehotchart.com. And so what thehotchart.com has done is they have said, you know what? A lot of these radio stations are also radio stations that still report to BDS, Nielsen, and Billboard charts, but they realized that the majority of Christian radio stations aren't like Engine. So any station that is kind of like Engine but plays Christian hip hop and pop have come together, whether you're internet, whether you're HD, or whether you're FM, and they've now created their own chart called Hot Chart, right? So not only can you go to the hotchart.com and see what songs are doing well on this group of radio stations, if you want to say, hey, Chris Chicago, what kind of song do I need to make in order to get played on the radio? Go to the hotchart.com. On the front page, you'll see what's charting top 50, And there's even listening links. Listen to what those songs are doing and then go make a song that would fit. Not only that, but you can see the panel listing too, right? So you can see what stations those are. Okay? So now you've just won in 2 arenas. One, you know what kind of sounds you need to go after. I'm not saying change who you are as an artist, but when you're writing a song, keep that in mind. I think sometimes if you go try to write a song for radio, you're gonna fail. But if you keep those ideas in mind when you're writing songs, then you're gonna write a radio song eventually. Okay, and then 2, you're gonna see who these stations are. And so when you're looking at, hiring a promoter or sending out the song yourself, you're gonna know you can identify what stations to send those to. So the hotchart.com. So really for us in our world, those are the stations that you're gonna wanna chart on. Now this chart is new, but it's gaining more and more exposure every month. And record labels, especially in Nashville, where Christian music lives, they're paying attention now and they're making music specifically for this chart. So I think that's an important chart for you to know. Now, how to get on a chart. Charts are, they're made up of spins, right? So if you get 30 spins in Houston and we report to Billboard, you get 60 spins in LA, they report to Billboard, now you have 90 spins. The song in the world from the stations that report to that chart that has the most spins are gonna be on the top of the chart and then on down. So you wanna so when you get more spins, what happens? Your song is now exposed to more audience. So the song that has the most spins and the biggest audience at the end of the day is the #1 song.
Can they judge the audience compared to the spin? How does that happen?
So every market has a ranking. Houston right now is currently ranked number 6 in America as radio market is. So, yes, we're the 6th largest radio market in the world.
I got a question.
Yeah.
What would be some constructive criticism that you could give to a Christian hip hop rapper, and what do they not want to see from a Christian hip hop rapper? Like, if you've got too much Jesus in your music, or what exactly are they looking for? I know they're looking for hope and for some fun.
It depends on who your audience is. What are you trying to do with the song? You know what I mean? I think if you're just looking for Spotify spins, right, and you're just looking for exposure, then you can make a song in Christian hip hop just about anything these days.
Right.
As long as as you identify yourself as a Christian, really, a lot of these artists are rapping about life and rapping about. Sometimes we don't even know what they're rapping about.
Why is it so hard for Houston Christian hip hop artists to get on the radio? I've heard that, so I don't know if that's true.
I'm gonna say Houston right now struggles with an identity crisis of sound. Houston is very, very stuck in old school sound, and so Houston developed a sound. Houston developed a sound, and it was a very popular sound, but Houston has a hard time getting away from that sound.
Right.
Houston has and it's tough. You don't want to go sound like a rapper from Atlanta.
Thanks.
That just sucks. But that's the problem with Houston right now. Is Houston is still holding on to that sound, and it's just not popular because kids you got to listen to who young people, right? They set the trends and they set what's popular.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not a 38-year-old guy like me. I love the music y'all are sending me. I love it.
But you're popping.
I bump it all the time, but I'm also bumping 1K Few and What Up RG.
But they're like
exactly. So the reason you're not getting played is because you're not going.
That's that's a different type of swag. It jams, it does jam, but we're used to different types.
I know you're used to it.
To switch it up a little
But
bit.
you gotta
give the people what they want.
You gotta give the people what they want. To reach the masses, you know what I mean?
Right.
So if you send me a song that sounds like 2002 Houston, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna bump it in my office, but I'm not gonna put it on the radio.
Y'all know when a song gets put on the air and people turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we live and die by ratings, you know what I mean? And ratings are determined by these little things called personal people meters. Okay, and one person in Houston who wears a personal people meter represents thousands of people. Okay, so if your radio station is detected by one of these people wearing a personal people meter, a PPM meter, then that person represents 1,400, 2,000 people. And so if that person with the personal people meter turns your station off and goes to another radio station, then our ratings fall. So that's one way. Another way is we do research. So we research our songs. We send out research hooks to a huge group of our music team people that we continue to build. You'll hear commercials for it all the time. You'll hear us talking about it. Hey, what songs you love and what songs you hate? Join our online music team.
Right.
When you text Engine Music to da-da-da-da, we'll send you a link. So I look at those results and I look at those tests every 2 weeks, and I see what songs, the majority, are doing well and what songs people hate. And if they hate the song, it goes off the radio.
That makes sense.
Next question.
Sometimes it sucks. A lot of my favorite songs get cut.
Yeah, put your hand up
My
if you got a
favorite song
question.
got cut.
Okay, so you get a song that you would say fits the mode of what would be good for the standard for the radio.
Yeah.
Is there other KPI? Are there other performance indicators that you look at as well? And how much does that play into the decision to add it? You know, as far as
The social media following.
Yeah, I think so too. And really, it just depends on where you find the playlist at that time. You know, there's sometimes, I'm in a season right now where I have a handful of songs that I want to add, but I don't have room for, because we have to keep our playlist small. The larger our playlists get, the less times you're going to hear a song, and the less time I can expose that song, then the more difficult it is for me to bring in new listeners, right? Because if you turn on Engine and you hear a song for the first time and you're like, oh man, this song's amazing, I love this song. What's gonna happen now, every time you go back to Engine, you're gonna hope that song comes back on, right? So the more songs I add to the playlist, the less opportunity I have to build listeners and to build listenership. And so there's so many songs that I wanna play. So like, for instance, if you give me a dope song and I think it's really dope, and it comes out at the same time as an Andy Mineo song,
right?
like,
Right. Yeah.
we all know what song's gonna get added, because the majority of my audience knows, likes, and wants to hear from Andy. I have an Andy Mineo song that I haven't added yet. I just have no room right now, because we have a lot of songs that are testing well, so I haven't been able to drop anything. Look, radio is gonna do two things for you. If you look at Ty Brazel, and I'm using him as an example because I know his data more than I know anybody else's, but I think the same is true with almost any Christian hip hop artist. If you look at an artist's streaming data and what markets are they getting the most streams in, they're getting the most streams in marketplaces where it coincides with radio play. So if you get your song on the radio, your song is going to get more streams, because now your song has been exposed. New music discovery. Where's the number one new music discovery platform? Radio. But you find a song. Well, you find a song that you love. Well, you're going to go stream that song. Yeah. So there's that, and then there's, of course, playing live and doing shows. That's how you're going to make it. Make that bag.
Throw it in there, but it's not in the
Rotation.
Yeah. What's the breakdown of how that works? So like
the way that
you play a
works
song
is
a couple times,
if I'm sitting in the studio and there's a song coming up that I just personally don't want to hear, and I'm like, yo, I got this new Austin that's popping. It's not on the playlist yet, but I'm gonna spike it in. I literally type in Austin in the air while I'm on in the air, and I move it in and I bounce the song that I don't want to hear.
as opposed to being in the actual rotation.
As opposed to being on the actual rotation. And another thing that I'll do is if there's a song that I'm just not sure about, but it's a song that I want to get exposure on Engine, and I want to get some kind of feedback on, I'll do one of two things. I'll either put it on Thursday Throwdown and let it live there for a while, or I'll put it on this feature that I do on Fridays called Emoji the Song, where our listeners, I play the song and I tell my listeners to live react using emojis only. And so I watch hundreds of texts come in, and if I'm not seeing a lot of poop emojis, then we're doing it. So those are two ways that I try. And let me say this, if you can walk away knowing one thing today, take this away, please. Mixing, production, mixing, production, mixing, production.
Preach.
Who is that guy in town? Is there somebody that you go to
There's a couple of them.
that has really dope production and mixing?
Bruce Bain, FM,
Cypress.
Yeah.
There's a lot
So there's good to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was in Nashville, and I could send people to producers all day, that the labels use, right? Because we have a standard.
Yeah.
But I get so many songs, guys, where it's pretty good.
Right.
And here's another thing. Don't put your cousin or your auntie or your girlfriend or the girl from the neighborhood on your hook.
Oh, yeah.
Because you guys would be surprised at how many dope songs I get, but the homegirl's flat.
Yeah.
So they don't even bother to tune the vocals.
Yeah.
And even when they do tune the vocals, it's still.
Hey, Albuquerque, Tennessee, Houston. How do we get Chris Chicago? The name, Chris Chicago. How did where did Chicago come from?
No, I'm surprised that's the first that question hasn't been asked yet. It's my number one most asked question. It's my real name.
That's what.
It's my real name.
It's the best answer.
It's not written.
So being that Houston is trying to really, build a kingdom movement here through Christian hip hop, we don't want to leave Engine out. We want to build bridges with Engine, and there's limitations to you playing everybody's music and even everybody's music qualifying. So how can we continue to build a bridge? What can they do besides join the online music team and things like that? What could they do that would help boost your ratings, that would help keep Engine here for a lifetime?
Man, you guys would be so surprised if you knew how many people in this city have no idea that we exist. I have new people that call me every week and it's like, yo, I just found your radio station. I've been listening for 2 days. And I'm like, man, if the biggest thing I can ask of you guys is to be our mouthpiece. Because when I tell you that lives are being impacted and changed, they are, guys. And they just need to know we exist, because Engine exists to bring hope, love, and encouragement, and to bring people ultimately closer to Christ, and they just don't know we're there, and so a text message to a friend, a tweet, an Instagram, like a story, like Trey does, it warms my heart every time I see Trey, like just a story, him walking into the park, oh look, we support Engine Radio, here's a bumper sticker. Or when he hears a song that he likes, oh man, this is my jam, and he tags Engine Radio 91.7 in his stories. Man, if y'all did that, like, let's put music aside, let's put what we do on the side. The reason I'm here and the reason we all do what we do, it's changing lives and it's impacting the city for Christ.